guess what? Good morning to ya. It's Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025, and this is your daily collective tarot and oracle reading on Jade Emerald Green. And it's Leo season, y'all. Rise and shine. It has officially begun through August 22nd. We will have this coming month full of jam-packed Leo energy. Yes, Mercury retrograde in Leo still happening. Hope you're enjoying it. New moon coming up in Leo, 2 days. Hope you're gonna enjoy that. And with this transit comes a time to assess our ego in all senses, our sense of self. Okay, what is your id? What is your purpose? What is your why? That is going to be essential as you navigate through this transit, through Leo season alone, just with the sun. Not even to mention that it is sextile Uranus and Gemini, okay? So we can actually use that to our advantage because, you know, Uranus and Gemini has been one that has been very daunting transit for people since its beginning on the 7th, I believe. So what does this all mean here? We are going to have to grapple with our sense of individuality. In America, we have rugged individuality that is going on unabated, unchecked. So we do need to still ground ourselves in the collective. Okay, I mean, like that's pretty much it. But when used wisely, it is a great time to make things happen. What do I mean by making things happen? I'm meaning like doing things only you can do, you in your uniqueness. Uranus representing that sense of the self as well, that individuality. Even though it's a collective planet, it deals with that identity. It actually goes well when in a good transit with the sun. So figure it out. What is it that you can do that nobody else can? Because if you are reminded, our weekly forecast did inform us that our card of the day is in the Empress. Now, if you know, if you've heard, if you've watched this, you know how I feel about the Empress. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but this for me is my favorite card because it is symbolizing the materialization of the divine feminine revealed. Okay? And your general sense of divinity revealed within yourself. You're materializing it in such a way that it is not only bringing about all of your wants and needs being met, but those of others, because there's a level of responsibility that those who are in a position of power have, that when wielded responsibly does wonders for the collective. But I want to talk about the shadow side a little bit more because I did touch on it a bit in the weekly review, because same reason, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I will always say this, and it's not easy being engaged with your queen-like energy, or even your king-like energy, your royal energy, your divine energy. It can be draining at times to feel the weight of this card when the pressures that come down upon you require you to make hard decisions within the gravitas of what you are being held responsible to do, to be held accountable with how you navigate your life and how it impacts others. So this is an important card. Whenever this comes up, please be reminded of all the greatness that is within you, and that even when the road is hard, that your journey is worthwhile to see this come about. Now, we do have Long Bubby Susie, the Belizean shadow of shame. Why is this important when it comes to the Empress? Well, Long Bubby Susie is known kind of like as like, I guess the Belizean equivalent of the boogeyman, roughly, you know. And the story goes is that her breasts carry both milk and poison. Anything that we deal with can either be a poison or a medicine. Anything that is in this life can either have the capacity for bad just as much as it has the capacity for good. What it is ultimately utilized for is based off of the circumstance and the will of the person that is in question. As we collectively come together to assess how do we overcome challenges amidst, staying true to our power, we have to be able to break the cycles of shame. Know that you are protected, even in moments where it feels like, there's a challenge that's making you vulnerable. Believe in yourself at all times, especially in the midst of shame. There's a book that I've begun reading and want to get back to. It's called I think it's called the Shame Cycle or the Shame Machine. I am going to find the exact title and I'll put it in the captions, but it really goes in depth as to how shame is manufactured in this society, and shame only begets more shame. And once we're stuck in that cycle, it becomes really hard to get out of. So that is why we must remind ourselves that we are protected. It requires faith. Alrighty, that's all I really have for y'all. It's Leo season. Use that Leo sextile Uranus, or Sun sextile Uranus with Leo sextile Gemini, to make the best of what makes you you at this time. Okay? That's all I got for now. Ciao, ciao.